This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Introducing Oakley Meta Vanguard, the new performance AI glasses designed for athletes with an action-ready ultra-wide camera, powerful open-ear speakers, and built-in Meta AI that syncs with your Garmin devices for real-time insights while you train. Take your performance to the next level with Oakley Meta Vanguard. Athletic intelligence is here. Learn more on meta.com.
Welcome to Your Call, presented by the Headset app, where coaches share defining moments, hard-earned lessons, and the values that shape their programs. If you've gone through a season dealing with static, lost connections, or trying to make sure every coach can actually communicate during a game, you know the frustration. The Headset app fixes all that. It's an easy-to-use app right on your phone. No bulky setup, no expensive systems, and most coaches simply use their own AirPods for crystal clear communication.
Today's guest is Ken Krause, head coach at Muskego High School in Wisconsin. Over nearly 2 decades, Coach Krause has built one of the state's most consistent programs, winning multiple conference and state championships and reaching the final 8 straight years. In this episode, he shares the true foundation behind that success, his coaching staff. From hiring former players to keeping coaches in the program and building strong relationships, Coach Krause shows how trust, loyalty, and consistency lead to lasting success. Whether you're a new head coach or a veteran leader, this episode offers practical lessons in culture and staff development.
Let's get into it.
Hi, it's Coach Krause here. It's a huge honor to be in the Coaching Coordinator podcast. Been on this before. And Keith, thank you for all you do. I've definitely listened to a lot of them, got a lot of little nuggets, sometimes reinforcements. So hopefully today I'll be able to pay it forward and do that as well. So I'm assuming you guys wanted me on here today. We took second in state. We had a real successful finish to the season. And so the question is, what were the keys? What was the thing that we felt made the difference? I think there were 2 big things this year, our culture and our coaching staff. I'm going to hammer our coaching staff. My goal is that if you just became a head football coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, just got that role, maybe you're a youth coach in charge of a team, maybe you're running a business, running a company. I think the biggest reason for our success this year was our coaching staff. Just a little bit about our program and our season. Head football coach at Muskego High School. I've been there 17 years. And the last 15 years, we've just been on a magical run, playing the best conference in the state. We've been able to win 7 conference championships, win state 3 times. We had a 41-game winning streak in there. We're the only team in the state of Wisconsin that has gone to the Final 8 in state 8 straight years in D1 football. So, and typically 32 teams make the playoffs. We're usually in the middle in enrollment, so we don't have an enrollment advantage. I think our big advantage, to be honest, for our success, and this year we ended up taking second in state, is our coaching staff. And we have not lost more than 2 games, well, more than 4 games since 2017. We were in the Final 4 in state that year. But this year we had a little rut. We had a lot more injuries than we've ever had. It was to a lot of starters. And just our culture and our coaches were the real difference, I thought, in continuing to overcome that. And then we ended up making the playoffs, and we went on a huge run. We knocked off Oak Creek, running clock. We played the number 1 team in the state, got a running clock on them. They were 10-0, and then we beat a couple of a rival team in the Final Four, and we got to state, and we lost a tough game. But when I look back at our 15 years, we've had all these great teams, but if I'm being honest, and I don't mean this in a negative way towards anybody, but it probably was like our 12th or 13th most talented team overall. They got the second in state. And I mentioned the culture part. Obviously, the kids being relentless in their work ethic was big keys, but you guys wanted me to focus on one thing that really I felt was the big key. And to me, it was our coaching staff. And we've had this long run, and this year's run is for lots of different reasons, but our coaching staff has some unique things. And so we've built our coaching staff in a unique way. Number 1, we love to hire former players. And from my very first team, we've got 2 players that played on my first 3 teams. Coach Middlecoffin and Coach Smith played in our first 4 teams. And both those guys came back and have been assistant coaches for me ever since they graduated from high school, and they have been with me the entire time. And Coach Smith's been my offensive line coach. And we had 3 other coaches that my first year, Coach Damo, who's been our special team coach most of the time, Coach Malachnik, our strength coach, and Coach Hetzel, our other offensive line coach. He's been with me all 18 years. So I've had 5 coaches with me 17 years. So I think when you have a great sustained run of success and can get into those state championship games, it really, that coaching makes a huge difference. And to have 5 guys with us all 17 years is incredible. We've added a bunch of coaches along the way. And one thing I think has really helped us is in the last 12 years, we've only had 1 coach leave our coaching staff. And that was more due to just, he was in his 70s and it was too hard for him to be on the field for those long practices. But so we've had the same group of guys forever. And we've been running the same systems on offense and defense. So these coaches get very good at the details. They get really good at the little things. And I talked about former players being huge hires. I would say to any head coach that's taken over a program or the longer they coach, I love former players. If former players want to come back and coach, that means that they had a great experience, so they're not going to come back. They obviously trust you as a coach. They believe in what you're doing. They believe in the program. And they're like family to you because they played for you. So they can have really good, candid conversations with you. And typically when you hire someone brand new and you don't know them, it takes time to build that relationship. It just doesn't happen right away. And so when you have a former player back, you're able to have hard conversations and they're able to kind of sometimes call you out, sometimes, question things, and that it's coming from their heart, and vice versa. You can talk to them a little bit differently because you've got that built-in relationship. And so one thing that I'm proud of at Muskego is, we have 10 of our coaches are former players. Our freshman staff, 4 of our 5 coaches are former players. And so besides having a great varsity, you've got to have a great freshman staff because they're the ones the kids are learning what the high school spirit's all about. And Coach Henneberry, Coach Huckstorf, Coach Mendez, Coach Cody Krause, those guys bleed black and red. Those are our school colors. And they've just done a fantastic job. And they've teach them our offense, our defense, and they've created a winning culture down there. And one of our reasons for our success is those guys have been together for maybe 10, 12 years as a staff. And they are like varsity coaches the way they coach. And like I said, they're former players. So their carrying is off the charts. They have more pride than typical freshman coaching staff. And I know freshman coaching staffs have a lot of change, a lot of turnover. We've had the same group for a long, long time. And our 5th coach is Coach Anderson. He's a teacher in the building. I think another huge key to successful football program and our program is, we've got one of our freshman coaches in the building. Then we have 6 varsity coaches also in the building. So there's 7 of us in the building. So you've got football players, no matter where they are in the hallways, there's a football coach. So you talk about the academic piece, the behavioral piece, the expectation of being a leader in our building really rises up because they're surrounded by their coaches who are good role models. And if we find out about anything, between the 7 of us, we're able to address that immediately. We've also got 2 coaches at the elementary level. So they're building warrior football with those little kids. And so I would say, number one, if former players that you coached, former players that went to that high school for you, just taking over a program, and then get as many teachers as you can, because then you don't have guys coming late to practice. They're there right when practice starts. The other thing is, if you can get your coordinators in the building, Coach Kunik, our special team coordinator this year, Coach Lucchese, our DC, those guys are in the building. So, in season, they can grab kids. I'm the offensive coordinator and head coach, but, we can grab kids during lunch, prep, before school, right after school with the guys right away for film and chalk. So that's a huge advantage having your coaches in building, especially your coordinators. So, you can find time in the day to grab kids if necessary. And you just have conversations with them as well in the off season. So a couple more things here. The longer your coaching staff is together, like I mentioned earlier, our staff we've been fortunate to go to Final 8 straight years. So we've been in the state championship game 4 times. So, in the last 11 years, I think we've coached like 15 season worth of games. We've played more games than anybody in the state of Wisconsin in the last 8 years. And when you play a 9-game season, you win state, you play a 14-game season. So it's basically a season and a half. And how do you keep these coaches to keep coaching this long? Number one, I think what's important is you have to delegate things to guys. Put them and give them jobs that they want to do. It makes their job fun, so it doesn't feel like work. I think we do a great job of everybody on our staff is in charge of different things. And we try to find things that motivate them and give them pride. And then everybody in the program knows that person's in charge of it. It's their baby, it's their thing. And so I could spend hours on all these topics, but, and as head coach, there's no way you can do everything perfectly great. And the more that you can delegate to people you trust and know they're going to do a great job, the more successful your program can be. By having the same staff for such a long time, two things. We do not practice on the weekend, and we also do not have full coaches meetings on the weekend, which a lot of people are like, really? Because we've been running the same systems and everybody's been coaching for so long, we're able to connect either on a Google Meet, a phone call, texting, and then we match up with people. So I might talk to my 2 line coaches. We'll find a time that maybe works for them. A lot of the coaches obviously are married, have children. So I may individually talk to certain coaches. We may have bigger meetings with coaches. You can do it on the phone, Google Meets. We don't make our staff come in for 4 hours on a Saturday or Sunday and break down film. And I think that's where guys start to say, once they have kids and kids are in activities, and a lot of guys leave your program. Another thing I think we do really, really well is we really work hard on our staff camaraderie. We go out after every Friday night game. We're either commiserating or we're celebrating. And I will tell you, when we win, there's some celebrating going on, and it's a lot of fun. And we're not breaking down film. Again, I think to each their own, but we need some time to decompress. We're teaching all week. We're coaching all week. We have families. So Friday night after the game, we're relaxing. We find a local establishment. We'll get some food there and we'll hang out and, we'll celebrate, have a great time. And I think that's been a huge key. We become friends. We become best friends. We also try to do things in the off season together. I know this Saturday we're, as a coaching staff, us and our wives, girlfriends, et cetera, we're all going to get together and go to a place that's like a bowling place with like arcade games and just a bunch of different little fun things. So we're trying to build staff camaraderie as well and make it a social thing, a friendship thing. Try not to burn our guys out. And I think the success we've had over these last 15 years, and especially the last 8 to 12 years, and then this year, just maximizing what we had. If we don't have these coaches that have coached this many years together, we don't take second in state. There's no doubt the experience factor was really crucial for us in having our success this year. So I hope I helped you guys out. I think the key to having a great football program organization is it's not about who the leader is, it's who the people that surround that leader. And the better the people are that surround that leader, the stronger the organization will be. And I think at Muskego, we definitely have that down pretty darn good right now. And that's been probably one of our keys to our success. So thank you again for having me on this. If you got any questions, feel free to email me at kenneth.krause@muskegonorway.org. Love to talk football, help you out. I've been head coach for 28 years and coaching for 32, so I'm more than happy to sit down and talk to anybody.
That wraps up our conversation with Coach Ken Krause. His story is a great example of sustaining success through people, not plays. By keeping his coaches together, giving them ownership, and creating balance, he's built a program that lasts. If this episode connected with you, share it with a fellow coach, and remember, great programs aren't built by one leader, they're built by great staffs pulling in the same direction.
Your Call is powered by the Headset app, the simplest way to keep every coach connected on game day or any day. No contracts, no setup headaches, just crystal clear communication that lives right on your phone. Ready to upgrade your headset system? Download the Headset app today. The link to the Headset app is in the description.